everyone, this is Kay and I'm participating in Secondhand Sunday, which is hosted by Nat Williams. I'd like to welcome you all to my channel. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you continue following me, and please press the notifications button so you know when my videos are up next, and subscribe, and please press the thumbs up button. That would be really fantastic because that will help me grow my channel. Thank you. And so Secondhand Sunday, hosted by Nat Williams, is an open collaboration where people are asked to take videos of their finds in secondhand places, or in either in op shops or on marketplace, or given from other people, and to take a video of it and upload it, and with the hashtag Secondhand Sunday, so other people can see what goodies you have bought for your junk journals. So first of all, I would like to start off with this amazing selection of lace that I won as a giveaway from Julie from Art and Junk Journals with Julie, and I'll put her link below as well as Nat Williams's link below, so you can check them out if you'd like. So I won this, and she gathered all this lace from secondhand stores, so I think this is just amazing, and I think I will really use these a lot in lots of my journals, and lots of different colours, and it's just really lovely gift. So thank you very much, Julie, for that. I also asked for people who had some things that they didn't want anymore in the way of cards and things like that. So I went and collected these cards from a woman, and that I knew from a market, and she didn't want to take any payment or something in exchange, and she took the backs off them, so I've got basically just the card fronts at this stage. So lots of them I think would be really useful for journaling, fussy cutting out the flowers and using them, and particularly like some of these images for Christmas. That's lovely. I think that was from the same card because the images look very much the same, so I could certainly cut that out for a Christmas journal. Some roosters. I think I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm not going to count them. It looks like about 7 or 8 of those images of a rooster. So perhaps I could use them in a farm journal, or maybe an animal. I have to think about that one. And a rose. Hope it's not too glary. This is lovely. It would make a great journal card. I love this one with the vintage girl and the swan in it. I'm just covering over the, sorry, my hand's in the way. I'm just covering up the address, that's all, and the phone number. And that's a lovely image. I think that would be really great in a vintage journal. Another rustic image, that would be really good. I like this one, it's so cute, and I'm going to be doing a fairy journal, so that would be really great for that. You can tell some of the age of some of these cards because of the images they use. Like this is a really faint rose image that I'm going to cut out. I don't particularly want the ring, but in the box, but I want the roses. Another flower I could cut out. I like this one with the berries on it. That's really lovely. It certainly could be used in a maybe some sort of nature journal, perhaps. Another lovely group of roses. This is certainly very faint roses here, but they would be lovely to fussy cut out. This is really showing the age of the card on this one because of the way they use the gold on the roses and the foliage. So cut the roses out and think about whether I'll cut the foliage out to match. Another Christmas image that I could use in a journal. I just love this one. It's just really beautiful with the colours, and I'd like to fussy cut that out, but I'm not too sure about the heart. But the thing is, if I don't cut the heart out as well, excuse me, sorry, then it would sort of go through the leaves and it wouldn't look very good. So that's really lovely. I like that one. Yeah, that should be something else, sorry. Then there's these houses I could use in a winter journal. Some more roses I could fussy cut out. Don't really know if I really like that enough to fussy cut that out, so I'll have to think about that one. Beautiful art deco images there, the beautiful lines of the dresses. I love those. That style is just so fluid and soft looking, just lovely. This little card can be used for a little tag or a tuck spot. This is very different, I think, because of the brightness of the blue against the dark. So I'm not too sure how I would use it, but I quite like it anyway, mainly because of the blue stands out so much. Could possibly fussy cut this out for another winter journal. This would be lovely for a background, but it's got a crease all the way through it. I'd have to decide whether I think the crease is not too bad to use or not. I think this is a lovely little image. I'm not too sure it was made to look vintage or it was a vintage, because I wouldn't say the hat was vintage, but it's just cute anyway, and I think it could pass possibly as a vintage image. Some flowers I could cut out. Another gorgeous art deco outfit. That's just lovely, whether I do that kind of journal or haven't really decided. And this is lovely too, beautiful. They did like a lot of bling, and I know they've added the bling to make it look stand out the card, but I think they did use a lot of bling back in the 1920s in the flapper era. Beautiful rose I could use. And amongst the things that this woman gave me was this calendar of Sarah Kay. Now, this is in 1979, so a lot of you may not be old enough to remember that Sarah Kay was a big thing in the 1970s. And this is the year I actually got married, so it's a good while ago now. But whether I'm not really, I haven't got really any ideas about how I could use these images. So if anybody's got any ideas, I could certainly use the backs for things, but I just don't know about the fronts. So, but they're certainly cute. This is a nice blank page you could use in a journal. Maybe even the covers could be used as the journal, and then use these as pockets maybe. And one of my Facebook friends that I know does crafting, when I asked people if they had any vintage images they didn't want any more from Christmas, could I have them, and I wanted to give her some in exchange. She said no, and she sent me all these beautiful vintage Christmas images, and so I thought these were really lovely. It was very kind of her to do that. So there's gorgeous vintage Father Christmas with a traditional kind of hood, and the writing, I'm not too sure if that's Scandinavian language. I don't think it's German, but not really. I don't really know. That one's a bit blurred, so I think that maybe some of these images were downloaded. Yeah. It's a lovely image too. I love that one. I think that one looks like a Saint Nick image because he's got the green on and the traditional hat. Saint Nicholas, I should say, not a Saint Nick, but we do call him Saint Nick for short, and then turned into Santa Claus. Another lovely image. See, even the writing looks sort of older. And then she sent some then she sent me some graphic 45 images too. It's that one. And I fussy cut these out already, so they'll be ready to go for decorating a journal with tags and things like that. So they really are lovely. Certainly be useful. See, Jolly Saint Nick. So there he is. Yeah, and this one here, I don't really particularly like the sentiment, but I like the little bird cluster here and the stamp image here, so I have to think about how I'll cut that out. She also sent me some 3D stickers that I could use in a journal. They're really lovely too. And then there was all these papers from like a decoupage sheet, because they all were different sizes, so I think they're a decoupage because they all came in different sizes. But again, they're just really lovely and vintagey looking. I really quite like them. There's a mistletoe. There's a young woman looking quite a bit of a cheeky look on her face, I think. Yes. There's a lovely one of some children playing with some snow to make some snowmen. Look at their faces. So angelic looking, yes. Beautiful angel. Love the robin. Look at that. Lovely. Stands out a lot. A couple of sizes for the children in the wheelbarrow, collecting some holly. And like I said, they were all different sizes, so there were some smaller ones as well some circular ones. So lots of images to use in a Christmas journal. Don't know if this one's particularly vintage, but I quite like it anyway. That's lovely. There's that robin again. Beautiful. And I really like this one too. Definitely vintage looking, even with the verse is quite an older way of saying things. There's another, I think that's another one of those downloaded ones because it's a bit blurry. Lovely snow scene. And a little boy piping a message. Lovely. There's another post. I could certainly turn that into a postcard along with this one. They both could be used as postcards, and with a little bit of a postage symbol here, they would look really great. I love those because they really, I mean, I love them all, but particularly like these ones because they really sort of, to me, they stand out a lot. And there's this one here, the snow scene, which could be either Christmas or winter. So a couple of choices there. And then I went to a couple of op shops, and so I found some really lovely things there. I got, these were in a packet together. I don't think they really belong together, but I thought that the yarn would be really good because it would be good for tying journals. And then this notebook, which I could possibly use in a journal as an extra page, or dye it and use it that way, or use it as a master board, or even just as the notepad itself. I saw this book, and that surface I could see it was handmade, and the surface feels all handmade too. And the whole book has just got all these handmade images in there. The images. Oh dear. Handmade paper. This is my third go at this particular video, so because I've had some technical issues, so I really hope this one works. So I've been saying the same thing. This is the third time I've been saying it. But anyway, the paper in here is really beautiful, and I did think I would take the pages out to put in journals, but I could even use this as a journal itself, because I don't know how easy it would be to take the pages out because of the way they're put in the spine here, and whether I could use the book cover itself as a journal. I'll have to really look at that spine properly and see if I can take it apart or not. Then in the same op shop I picked up this bundle of envelopes. I thought that they would be really good. I could sort of fold them over and use them as a pocket here, and even open this side and create a pocket there, or even use it to make even an envelope journal, but I thought they would be useful. And at the same op shop I picked up this, I don't know actually what you call these things, these boards of lace, and I thought this would be really good for journaling. But I'm also a card maker. That's where I started off originally. I still like making cards, so I could use it for both journals and for card making. I think that's really, really nice, delicate lace, and that was a good find, I thought. Then I picked up this book, which doesn't look very much from the picture on the front, because it's not particularly vintage or something you probably would use in a junk journal. But I thought that definitely the insides, because I just thought that the spacing was really good, and the nice black lines. I just liked the look of the lines, so I thought that's why I picked that up. And I saw this, and I thought, I had a look at it. I thought I'll certainly take that, and it's got a nice magnetic clasp could certainly make a journal with this because of that reason. And inside, I couldn't, I thought it was quite a lot of things actually. A lot of envelopes. So maybe this was a gift and it was never used. And besides the envelopes, they've got all these lovely cards. And the cards are really lovely. They're all of blossoms and just beautiful pictures. And there's nothing inside the card, so they can be used as a page in a journal, or whether I use just the fronts. There's just lots of possibilities there, and I really like blossoms. I think the blossoms are delicate to look at. They're pretty and they smell nice. It gives you that sort of, I like them because they give you that sort of fresh sense of the thing around you, and they're just lovely. We used to live in the country, in a country town, and we had a crabapple tree, and the crabapple tree was just beautiful when it was all in blossom. So I had like these kind of blossoms with the white, but underneath you could see this pale pink buds, and the bottom of the flowers were pale pink as well. They were just really pretty. Then inside this whole thing, there's also this book as a friends and family organizer. Probably wouldn't use it as an organizer myself, but it certainly has got lots of useful things in there. Like that page is really lovely. Whether I turn it into an altered book, I have to look at the spine again and have a think about it. But I thought again, the pictures are just beautiful, and they could certainly be used in a journal. They are the same as what the cards were made of. And they've got the big page ones, and they've got the little ones here that could be used as tuck spots. Beautiful images. Lovely little one there for close up. That's not on a card, but that's lovely. Not too sure I would use this side in a journal, but the flowers I could certainly use. So how are you all coping? It's a bit of a tricky time at the moment for everybody around the world, and well, not just tricky, it's just affecting so many different things, with people being infected and being in hospital, and supply chains being affected, and whether kids are going to go to school or not. So I live in Australia, so we've been very lucky with minimal COVID cases, but we've opened up now, and the Omicron variant is going a bit like everywhere else is sort of, lots of people are getting infected. So please take care and look after yourselves. Lovely images. Even though this is the third time I'm doing it, I keep rubbing over, and I don't know why, because I can't feel anything. It's just, I think it's just, you just want to reach out to them because they're just so pretty. They are so pretty. This is a different image. I think it's just sort of very muted, soft colours. Lovely. It's very pretty. You'd almost be ashamed to take it apart, and maybe you could sort of keep that side and journal this side. Put something here so people could journal over it. That's a possibility. Just keep it as a sort of like a nature journal, and add some other bits and pieces in there to make it into a nature journal. Again, I'm sort of just started making journals at the end of last year, so I'm still learning a lot about them and how to make them and what sort of things to put in them. And because my cards are layered and lots of different aspects of it, I sort of feel I've been looking in junk journals, seem to be sort of like less is more kind of thing. So still learning how to do them, really. I've got a combination of ones that are really busy and ones that are less is more, so I just have to see how they go. I love this pink blossom. It's very pretty. It's another lovely one too. You see the veins on this one? Yeah, can you see? It's just beautiful. And the stamens in the middle of the flower. Blossoms. Did I miss one? No. That's a lovely one of the tree. A country that celebrates their blossoms at the Cherry Blossom Festival is Japan. And once upon a time it was on my bucket list, but I don't think I'll be going anywhere overseas at the moment. So, or in the near future. Just lovely. There I go, trying to feel it again. I can't feel it, Kay. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. That's a beautiful picture. That's lovely. So this next section is birthdays, events and anniversaries. So it's got a calendar in it, which I think would be really useful calendar, mainly because it's got the dates, but it hasn't got the days. So it could be used for any year, which I think is quite versatile. And but I don't know. I've seen somebody who did like a little collage in every single box of the month. I don't know if I would do if I could do that, a little collage every month or something. But maybe I could, something to think about. So that's just all calendars. And this next bit is Christmas card list, but I love the whole spread of that. There I go, feeling it again. Yeah, I think humans like to be tactile and smell things. It's just, yeah, that's what we are. But this is just all blank as well, and with her. I just go through my address book and send them as I go through the address book, but I don't send as many cards as I used to. So probably could take those pages out or just use them, keep the backdrop and cover it over this bit here, or just maybe the name, the headings. And you've got a gift and ideas list. Again, not something that I would use personally, but how to use it in a journal is another thing. So there's the back, which is the same as the front. No, I just thought that was pretty good for $5. $5 Australian, so certainly lots of opportunities to do different things with that one. And then in the same op shop, I found this. I just couldn't believe it, because I've got the country notes of an Edwardian lady, and I got that online, and I've never seen one of these in an op shop before, and it just cost me $3 Australian. I could not believe how lucky I was, because I just love her books and her style, and I think lots of junk journalists do the same. For those people who don't know, Edith Holden was a woman who lived in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, in the time of Edward. So that's why it's called, she was the Edwardian lady. And this diary was not really a diary of her life as such, as more of a diary of the animals that she saw on her walks, and she used to sit and draw them, as well as all the flora that she could see. And she used to just go out in the country and just draw them, and kept a diary of the changes of the weather and the changes of the flowers and the birds and things like that. So she became well known as a person who drew things, and so she also illustrated a number of children's books that she was asked to do. So this particular book was published in 1977, and the age of the book is just really just beautiful, but it's aged in a really careful, well-kept way, because there's no breaks or gunginess around the edges of the pages. It's obviously been really well looked after, and it's in such good condition, this book, really good condition. And that's why I couldn't believe it. And as soon as I saw it, I tucked it under my arm and just sat on it, just held on to it until I looked further on, because I didn't want to put it down anyway in case somebody else saw it, because they're just hard to come by, and people really like them in the junk journal world. As you can see, it's just her drawings were in watercolours, and I just love all the soft tones, and her this is all her writing. This diary was actually published 9 years after her death. I'm not really sure if it was her family that published it or not. I actually haven't found that out yet, so I need to See if I can find that out. But yes, she just really enjoyed. She and her sisters went to a school to learn to develop their drawing skills further. So they're all talented in that way. And their family seemed to move around a lot, and never really worked out why. Because I was reading, I read her story and her family story. Because there's a book of there called the Edwardian Ladies. So that tells you a bit about her. So I read that book as well. It doesn't really explain who published the book. Beautiful. So pretty. Look at this. So delicate, and the way she's done that. It's just lovely. Now see, there's some things here that I've not really heard of, like the feast days. Feast days were more celebrated through the church, I think, and not heard of Candlemas Day. I've heard of St. Valentine, but I've not heard of St. Matthias. I think that's how you say Matthias. Yes, I think that's how you say that. Oh, so if Candlemas Day be fair and bright, winter will have another flight. But if Candlemas Day be clouds and rain, winter is gone and will not come again. So it must have been also marking a time of the passage of time. So beautiful. I came to Australia when I was 7, but I remember feeling these sort of soft, fluffy catkins. Yes, they were lovely. Drawings of a shrew mouse. Beautiful writing, as well as the lovely drawings. She's drawing the countryside here. So back in the day, they used to use horse-drawn, hand-pushed ploughs to till their fields. I think that's probably why in England they have a lot of smaller fields compared to Australia, where we call them paddocks here, so they're much bigger. Beautiful, all that writing. So the kind of thing she was noting was that another heavy fall of snow, this one here for the 13th of March, another heavy fall of snow in the night. The cold has almost silenced the birds this morning. Numbers of them came onto the lawn to be fed. The starlings and the cock chaffinches look specially gay just now in their spring coats. Look, beautiful. And there's she's drawn the chaffinches. I think that's how you say it, chaffinches. Daffodils, beautiful. I love daffodils. Little eggs. Just really lovely. Edith Holden sadly died very young at the age of 49 in a very tragic accident. They found her drowned in a river, and they think that what happened was that she reached out, because over there hanging the edge of the river was some horse chestnuts, and they think she was really leaning over to get some of her foliage to draw, and slipped and fell and then drowned, which is very, very sad. So sad, so sad. Beautiful drawings. Look at all the different beautiful plants there, and the catkins and the little berries and the butterflies. And that's why I keep going like this, because you almost feel like you can touch them, because they're so, like you see all the little spikes on this plant here, and the veins on the leaves. It just makes it look so lifelike. It's amazing. So that's an adder. I don't think they have poisonous poisonous snakes in Britain. So, it's very venomous, and sometimes proves fatal in its results, which makes it much dreaded. Oh, so there you go. You hear stories, and sometimes you think that they're true, but that's not true. For that one I thought there was no snakes, and venomous snakes. We have lots in Australia, so. Not so much in the city areas, but in the country. So May, they have a celebration in quite a lot of European countries about the maypole, and I think that's a small version of a maypole. I think they go and celebrate the month of May because it sort of celebrates spring. Beautiful drawings. Beautiful. Lovely. Lots of writing there. And so she also included lots of poems from various poets. So I actually haven't read everything through here. I just finished her book, the book about her life story and her family story. So that was really interesting. So I need to read this one now. And I need to read the Nature Notes one as well, which I got. I've had that for a while, so. But I think I wanted to read about her first. Look at that. Looks beautiful. How delicate they are looking. It's really pretty. I hope you don't mind me showing you each of the pages, but I just wanted you to see what a beautiful artist she was, and I just love this page. It's just, the colours are just beautiful. Because you may have heard of Edith Holden, Along Your Travels. Well, when you watch YouTube, people talk about her. If you watch junk journalists, talk about her, and you may see it on Facebook pages. So I thought you might be interested in seeing the book. This is how I learnt about her, by somebody showing one of her books as well. So beautiful. Look at the bees that she's drawn. The delicateness of this one here. Look at that. That's, the colour is stunning. And sort of contrasts really interestingly with the smallness of the yellow plant here, how it goes up to the point at the top. And how she's done this. Well, it's almost like a wheat stalk. Silky bent grass, or brome grass. I'm not too sure which one is which. Kingfisher. Lovely. Beautiful thistle. We have, sometimes we see them in the paddocks here in Australia, but they're called a weed here. So you don't see very many of them because people usually spray them with weed killer to kill them off. It's a lovely wood scene that could be used in a journal. Beautiful. Look at those poppies. Beautiful. It's interesting how she sort of grouped certain flowers together. That just looks like a natural posy, unless they were grown. Just, and they're sort of all leaning. It's just, yeah, I really like that one. Different kinds of plants. That's a yarrow. I think yarrow was used for yarrow tea, maybe. Yarrow was a soothing, healing plant. I don't know, I've heard of the word yarrow. I think it was sort of linked with soothing and healing. Look, beautiful hip, golden hip, the hips of the rose. I think you can make rose hip tea. Well, I've not tried it myself, but beautiful. That's lovely. There's a thrush. There's some sparrows. Goldfinch. Look, there's one of those plants with the sticky leaves with the, if the insects land on them, they get trapped and they can't get away, and the plant sucks the juices out of them to survive. Horse chestnuts. I think a long time, I'm not too sure, I think my dad remembers playing conkers with these. You take the nut outs of the surrounding area, and they're really hard, and you tie a string on them, and you face somebody else who's got the same on their string, and you try bashing them, and the one who cracks first is the loser, and the one that doesn't crack is the winner. So my dad actually remembers playing that when he was a boy, and my dad is 87 now, so I don't know if people still play it. It's a fruit. Look at the different colours of the berries on that one. acorns from the berries. Lots of berries now because of what season will be autumn. That's why. Their autumn, not Australian autumn. Lovely. Crab apple. Gorgeous. I just love that picture because I have never ever seen a red toadstool in real life. I've seen them in pictures, I've seen them on the TV, and I've seen them in books, but I've never actually seen one in real life. The colour is just really sort of hits you because it's so vibrant. Darling. That's another bird that's considered to be a pest in Australia too, so because they're not native here. Some toadstools. Excuse me, I need a water. I love the colour of that one. So I hope you all got some time to spend with your children during the school holidays, if you have children, or your grandchildren. Still some debate about when school's going to start back, because I live in South Australia. They're going to decide tomorrow what's going to happen with school. Such a shame because I think school is really important for children because of that social interaction and routine, and I think it helps their well-being and in their mental state. Mistletoe. So she must have did some study around the plants as well, because here are their common names. Oh, these are the flowers. Yeah, the common names of the flowers, and there's the Latin names. So, and to recognise them after a while, just she must have been quite versed in what they looked like and their names, and probably learnt a little bit along when she did the school for drawing things. So, but perhaps she did some self-research as well. And then she did the same for the wild birds, the common name and the Latin name, and she's listed them all. All the way through the book, you see that none of the edges were torn or had stuff on them. It's just, and the middles are just, it was just in such good condition. Somebody was obviously well loved this book. Decided they didn't want it anymore. So there's Edith herself. So I hope you enjoyed that showing of my secondhand goodies, and I really hope to see what you have to show us. And please upload your video and the hashtag Secondhandsunday, and I hope to see you next video. Please press the like button, the thumbs up, and the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.